Rock and roll, daddy! Hey, Bob Squad, welcome back to the second revamped edition of Hardest Part of the Ring. We are talking about Monday Night Raw. It's in Paris, the one in France, not Texas. Hang on, before we do anything else, Mr. Odie wants to say hello, or no, he doesn't. He just wants to hang out on the hardest part of the ring. You grumpy man. You're my handsome man. He's a handsome boy. He's a handsome boy. We'll get to wrestling in a minute. Whatever. You gotta give him neck scritchies. So, Monday Night Raw can wait. Monday Night Raw is over. So, none of this matters at all. Right, my little friend? My little Chihuahua man. My 22-pound Tower Golden Chihuahua Power Daddy. By the Chihuahua of Grayskull. Okay, hello, you man. You're my special boy. Okay. You wanna go? You wanna go sit down? You switch. You sit there. Just I know I need that for you. Sit there. You're a Chihuahua with a couch to yourself. You have nothing to complain about, my friend. Once a day I say to him, Odie, you can't be that mad if you're barking from the couch. What are we talking about today? I got a red notebook that I mentioned. We're in one of the more French Parises. It was June 8th, 2026. Yes, I got your poll. Okay. And what happens? Obafemi, he decides to I don't know if he decided. I'm sure somebody had a hand in it. There's production people, there's lighting, there's music, there's crew and what have you. Obafemi comes down in Friday Business Casual to tell us that there's a free pizza for your lunch break, but it's not worth it because you still have to spend it with your coworkers, and you're better off spending the money on your own lunch and not spending lunch with your coworkers who you hate. I think that was the point of his promo there, which is short for promotion. People don't know that. I don't know what it means. Anyway, he's very upset. He's still mad at Brock Lesnar. He said, Brock Lesnar, you and I are 1-1, and I want you one more time to get even. You were even. You were 1-1. He just said so. I don't understand your issue. But Dominic Mysterio, he's very upset because he is not being mentioned. I guess next week he is scheduled to wrestle Obafemi one-on-one in the semifinals of the Coder tournament. The Coder. And as they're jaw-jacking, and Paris is very loud. And they've been in Europe a while, but yeah, the singing throughout the entire show, I'll just do this now, is I think it's more annoying on Raw because Raw has more talking than a PLE. So the viewer is left to watch someone, Seth Rollins' easiest case in point, where the viewer has to watch a guy stand there and people sing at him for even longer than you would in your Premier Live events, because that's where the matches are. So you wouldn't do nearly as much of that. The one plus side is the European crowds don't do the stupid what thing. So, you pick your poison, daddy. And, Judgment Day McDonough, I think that's what the JD stands for. It should. We're still doing this 3 years later. He decides to use a folding chair as a weapon and hit Business Casual Femi across the back with it. And Business Casual Obafemi does the old Big Show spot where he punches the chair into JD's giant head, and I think it hurt Oba's hand. Okay, and now JD goes down, and Dom drags him away. I was a little weird on this. If you take a giant's punch through a chair, a metal chair into your head, regardless of how large your head is, shouldn't you be down? He's selling mad, like he got, kicked in the ass or something. I don't know. But either way, point made, Oba needed to do something powerful to look powerful. Not that he needed to look more powerful. He's very powerful, even in the business cash. But Seth Rollins is backstage. He is laughing and at or with Kathy Kelly. And he's wearing giant sunglasses still, so we wish him luck in his LASIK surgery recovery. The 4-Coder match. Coder. The women, the 4 of them, they wrestle each other. It's Liv Morgan, it is Chelsea Green, it is Becky Lynch, and somebody else, Alexa Bliss. Sorry. They have this match, and the crowd was really hot for it, which is great. Give me a second. I'm gonna drink some of this double water. In a Bob squad, we don't drink regular water. This is double water. Okay. Every molecule of water has 2 atoms of hydrogen and 4 of oxygen. It's 2H4O. So you get double hydrated, or hydrogenated as we say in the Bob squad, because double hydrated would sound stupid. This match, the 4 women wrestled. So this was interesting to me. I think just the fact that we don't see Chelsea Green or Alexa Bliss on Raw regularly was fun. I think Chelsea's officially, I guess I count her as a full babyface turn now because she's wrestling bad guys on SmackDown. That's usually the line for me. If you're wrestling the other side, you're on that side now. Either way, but it's hard to tell, and she hasn't been on Raw in a bunch. But I thought the easy choice, of course, was either going to be Becky Lynch or Liv Morgan. Wait a minute, who won this? Chelsea got pinned. Oh, Liv Morgan won this. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wrote that. My handwriting's completely illegible, by the way. If you want to freeze that, don't, and you won't waste your time. I remember the finish being really cool. There was a series of back and forths where it looked like Becky would win, and Becky hit her pump handle on... No, Becky was in trouble. Chelsea hit her finish on Becky, and then Chelsea got rolled up in like a jackknife type of thing with by Liv Morgan for the 1, 2, 3, and Liv got out. And I think her gimmick here is that the story here is that Liv is already the world champion, so she doesn't really need to be in the tournament to challenge for the championship that she already has. So it actually makes no sense that she's in it, and she wants to be in it to win it so that she can show up at SummerSlam and have no contenders. What I don't get is in kayfabe or storyline or what have you, why would the general manager allow that? You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. It's like giving the world champion the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble to make sure what are you doing? I don't understand how that's allowed. I understand why the heel would want that chance to show off. Are we all lip syncing our own songs when we come to the ring now? I noticed with Liv. I know Rhea did it for a bunch and it was special and I get it because they gave Liv her own song, and that song, by the way, for Liv, I think it's great for when she's coming out to the ring. I don't think she needs to perform or sing it live or whatever. But just more of a look at me, I'm a heel and I got my own song, I'm cocky about it, is just fine. There was a package, we saw Rey Mysterio's package, LOL, about him and Penta. They're going to challenge for the IC Championship. It's a very cold championship. But they're interrupted by Gable. Chad Gable is sad. He's not El Grande anymore. He's Gable like he's himself. He doesn't wear his luchador mask. And he's very apologetic for disrespecting the luchador culture for over a year. But I don't know how all that works. But so he's bummed. And Ray said something about maybe you got to think about what you did but even before you became El Grande. So I guess we'll discuss that later. They're having a Saturday night's main event on a Sunday. So, okay. In Atlanta on September 6th, I don't know if you need to know that, Seth Rollins is backstage again with I don't remember if he was wearing giant shades this time. But he talks to Montez Ford, sure, anyway. And then Seth is thanking Montez for interfering, even though his partner is wherever Angelo Dawkins may or may not be. The Usos show up, and Fatu shows up. And there's a big stare down, and the Usos tell Fatu to get Seth Rollins, and nothing happens. No one does anything. Fatu walks away, and the Usos walk away. So that's, it was nice. They talked. Then nothing happened. Then Sol Ruca has a package because she's going to wrestle the Bird Lady. And then the Bird Lady and Bayley are backstage, and Bird Lady is also going to challenge today for the IC Championship, also a very cold Women's Championship. And Sol Ruca enters versus Lyra Valkyrie, Bird Lady. And I put a star next to this. Just note later, it's a babyface match for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. Make note of that. Okie dokie. Then we go to commercial break. And DoorDash has different food items imposed over our favorite monumental wrestling moments that we used to care about, but now we don't, because Roman Reigns is hitting someone with a giant popsicle stick. So, whatever. Sol Ruca, I wrote, reminds me of Ahmed Johnson. I did. I wrote that with my hand. It came out of my brain, and I thought to write that down. I think in the sense, once you get past the obvious visual similarities, I think it gets to the point where the announcers cannot stop telling us Sol Ruca is great and going to be the biggest deal. And I understand they need, covering up for someone new and stuff's not looking its best and all that stuff. And she's new and she's being pushed, and she did just beat Becky Lynch for the very cold IC championship. But at the same time, it almost reminds me of also in 1996, not just Ahmed, but Shawn Michaels as champion, where Vince on the announce team would just nonstop tell you, this is great, he is great, he is great, to the point where you hated the person that you were trying to watch. Like, so you're trying to watch Sol Ruca. I have not been big on Sol Ruca, but I'm trying to see what it is. But if every 3 seconds you tell me it's great. You ever watch a movie for the first time, but the person next to you, it's their favorite movie, they've seen it 45 times? So they oversell everything you're watching, and they over-explain it, and you can't just watch it. That's what I feel like I'm trying to watch Sol Ruca match. The announce team is ruining my attempt to enjoy Sol Ruca by every 8 seconds telling me I should enjoy Sol Ruca. You're not letting me. I'm trying to. I'm trying to see it, and you won't let me. Just give me a second, guys. But TV, I understand. Anyway, so this was, as you would expect, interesting situation for Bird Lady, because usually in these matches it's her and Becky, or she was wrestling Bayley, teaming with Bayley, and in there with Charlotte and Alexa and all them. And this is a situation where Bird Lady definitely, I didn't look to see if I could catch who's calling it. Ignore the motorcycles if you hear them. Someone's gonna die. But this is a situation where Bird Lady has to be, she's in charge. This is on her. She's the one who's wrestled on Raw for a while, and Indies and NXT or NXT UK and et cetera, et cetera. This is on Bird Lady. So it has to, so I don't know. I wasn't really watching to see who was really calling what or how much the referee was telling him. I don't really remember, but just that was a position where if things went terribly, terribly wrong, if not the agents, Bird Lady would probably have some explaining to do. They actually referenced for the first time ever the Bird Lady Becky Lynch match from SummerSlam last year, where the zip ties came undone and she put them back together. They didn't mention that part, but just I forgot the stipulation. As long as Becky Lynch is IC champion, very cold champion, that Bird Lady can't challenge. So as soon as I totally forgot the stipulation, they never brought it up ever again. So don't look at me, just being the best Bob I can be, Daddy. Anyway, Soul Snatch. Sol Ruca hit the Soul Snatcher finally on Raw. They kept hyping this finisher move we should be aware of that we've never seen on this program before. Soul Snatcher 1, 2, 3. Well, very good. And the Cool Surfer Mom is still the champion. We are backstage again. Jacob Fatu is still backstage, so he's having a great time. And his red hair. His hair is getting more red every week. He's putting more red in his hair. So, how about that? And the Usos are mad at him for not beating up Seth when they told him to. And Jacob Fatu always says, don't get it twisted and keep it 100 every time. Before he gets to the knowing what he means and yelling his name, which is Fatu, you never get it twisted, but you always keep it 100. So, the 100, or whatever, however he says it. So, just note, he kept it 100. It was 100% nothing happening here. Then, where he tells him to worry about LaKnight. So LaKnight shows up after the commercial break. He's got the red and yellow, the colors which he made famous in professional wrestling. And he misses the mic. He goes to catch the microphone, like Stone Cold catching a beer. And him and the announcers blame the guy throwing it, but I don't know, he's the one who missed the mic. I'm an LA fan, or I'm a LaKnight fan, but still. Anyway, this is interesting. LaKnight is hyping up a 4-way match he is involved in this Friday on SmackDown. And LaKnight refers to how he's going to take on all 4 of them. He's one of the 4. He's going to take on all 3 of them. but I think he just slipped. But I don't know who caught it. I can see on his face he caught it the second he said it, but that's why we wear shades on TV half the time, I suppose. Jey Uso is in our city. What brilliance! He changed the main. He said the main event. Jey Uso is in our city. I can't talk today. It's terrible for a podcast. So he never screws up the city. He just always says in your city. So that's nice to know. This time it was Paris, the one in France, which is the France in Europe. And then you roll it back, so he starts the music thing. So they're still eating and cheering a thing, but he's acting heel, whatever. Anyway, LeKnight cuts off the eating, and now they boo LeKnight because he cut off the eating, although they were cheering him when he came out with the red and yellow. And then LeKnight says, "Screw your family," and we go backstage. Oh, Jimmy Uso showed up to pull Yeet back. Their names are LeKnight and Yeet. I don't care. So Jimmy pulls back Yeet. And LeKnight says, "Screw your family," and we're backstage. Rey Mysterio is still backstage. Okay, he's been hanging out a while. And Chad Gable and Dragon Lee are having a conversation. Penta enters the ring. What were Rey and Gable? Did I mix up the two Gable backstage with Luchador guys? Oh, I think Gable approached Penta first. That's right. I totally messed it up. Anyway, now he's approaching Rey and Dragon Lee, and it seems like they're going to forgive him, so that's very nice. Now we see Penta enter. And they're going to have a babyface match for the IC Championship. Very cold championship. It's got frost icicles hanging off the belt. Very icy belt. So this is the second babyface Intercontinental Championship match of the night. And similar to the last one, we have a commercial break. Sorry, we'll get there. On July 18th, the OTC Roman Reigns finger in the air is going to be at some fan fest. Who gives a shit? Rey Mysterio and Penta finally begins. Similar to Bird Lady and Sol Ruca, it's a babyface match for that, upper mid or whatever, mid card tie, whatever, that secondary title, which is still cool. And there's going to be a lot of athletic spots up top, little long spots, back and forth. Nobody really gets an upper hand, maybe here, maybe there a little bit. So in a way, they kind of had the same match, just the execution would be a bit different. But Rey Mysterio still moving phenomenal. The man is 74 years old, and he's just unbelievable. He's doing a great. He does that when he does that head scissors, where that kind of tilt-a-whirl head scissors that everyone kind of does, but people usually try to throw the crook of their right knee over the person's head, and then they do the whip around. He just does it every time with just his ankles. It's ridiculous how he does the damn thing. Yes, you grab his ankles and you swing them and you post, but the commitment, it's unreal. Anyway, commercial break. And then they wrestle some more, and Penta wins clean. Wonderful, simple finish. Eventually, Rey hits the 619, goes for the spliggity splash off the Tizop there, brother. Penta pulls up the knees in the bread basket, and then Penta hits his Mexican destroyer, and we are done. But we are not done, because Ethan Page and Rusev are very upset that this match happened, because they both wanted to wrestle Penta for the thing. So they're beating up both gentlemen, and Dragon Lee is in there, and he's fighting back. And good old Dragon Lee, he's doing his best, and he's getting beat up too. And then Rusev rips the mask off Rey Mysterio. Gable comes out, and people are very happy. Gable starts giving the Bulgarian guy Germans in Paris. So and he hits the Germans, and Gable gives the mask back. So Rey Mysterio is not. They put a towel over his head when they unmasked him or something, the other good guys. So Gable is all friends with the good luchas. So, nice to know. Raquel Gonzalez? Is it Rodriguez? I always forget. I think it's Rodriguez. Jesus, Bob, it was 3 years ago. Raquel Rodriguez has a package, shut your mouth, and she's going to wrestle on SmackDown against Io Sky, okay? And then Taller Tonga is moving his arms like this, like so. He's very tall. He's got his face painted like those Batman bad guys who are all named after decks of cards. So he looks like them for some reason. Io Sky is a package, not nice. And she's also gonna, she says she will beat Raquel. Raquel says she will beat her, as you would imagine. Why would they say otherwise? And that's gonna happen on Friday. It's Smiggity Smiggity SmackDown, if you will. Judgment Day is backstage doing a great job of something. Roxanne is congratulating Liv, but it seems like Roxanne is setting them up for something, and Liv is just brushing her off and saying, "Don't worry, I'll be the queen of the ring." And Roxanne is like, "Well, you were Raquel," and now Roxanne seems suspicious of Liv Morgan's selfish motives. Only took several months of selfish behavior to tip off good old Roxanne, but she doesn't have to put on the red light. She can just watch the match this Friday. LOL. Seth Rollins enters. He's back from LASIK surgery, but we go to a commercial break, so I have a match. And the 4 men fight for the Coder, King of the Ring, semi-thing. So the winner of this fights somebody else. All right, good job, Bob. Ricky Saints, who's never been on Raw before that I can think of, is there. And so is Taller Tonga, also never been. That's the interesting thing about these 4-ways. You at least have 2 wrestlers from somewhere else, the other show. And Javon Evans, wildly popular. People want bananas, and of course Seth Rollins. They are singing his song over. They did it now. I've complained in the past, and I probably will again. The Tower of Doom spot they do in every 4-way. Usually the women are guilty of this. I did not see one unless I missed one because I ordered Chipotle. Unless I missed a Tower of Doom spot from the women in their 4-way earlier, I don't think they did one. But they did a variation here, and I was groaning and rolling my eyes when they started it, and they got me. And I love to get got. I love being wrong. It's very important in life to be wrong. If we thought we were right, we would think something else. I messed that joke up. Who cares? Seth Rollins and somebody. I don't know. Taller Tonga gets underneath Seth and Ricky Saints, who were trying to superplex Javon. So Taller knocks down Ricky, and he just kind of pulls the power bomb, but he really just kind of puts his hand on her legs, power bombs Ricky and Seth down, and you think Javon's going to take the big bump from up top, but he actually lands on his feet. Place goes banana. Really, really cool. I think they start going home from here. Something bad happens. Oh yeah, Austin Theory shows up to cause trouble, and Montez Ford comes out to fight Theory. And I remember thinking, I want to see just Theory versus Ford now. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a good match. I hope they do it. I want to see Theory versus Ford. Braun Breaker, again, when they barely mentioned division at all the whole show, and bring out Seth, I kind of had a funny feeling. I made a point to tell us 3 times Seth has division in his rearview mirror. Well, anytime they tell you too much, that's a sign. Braun spears Seth. And then Ricky Saints looks like he's going to win the whole thing and be a scavenger and pick up the pieces. But Javon Evans, out of nowhere, it's the OG cutter off the rope, and Javon gets the pin there, and everybody's happy. This was a really cool moment. I thought it was huge for Javon. No one else suffers because of it. Hell, Seth wasn't even beaten. It does mean we're going to get more Seth with the Vision. I would imagine Seth and Montez versus Braun and Theory is a match to take place somewhere, and I'm sure Dawkins, I don't know if he's injured, I don't know what his deal is, would have something to say about it, and because it does seem like they've been teasing a little bit of that Street Profits split here and there. So who knows, really? I don't really know. I don't know what you would do with, would Montez stay babyface? Probably. So Dawkins turns heel. That reminds me of, remember Otis used to have a tag team partner? Do you guys remember this? They were a Heavy Machinery or something like that. It was like a taller guy, dark hair, ponytail, and the tall guy turned on Otis, and then the tall guy disappeared because it wasn't really a lot without Otis. So I don't know. I like Dawkins just fine, but I just don't see them getting behind a heel Dawkins, and I don't. And the Street Profits just got back to Monday Night Raw, so it's not like there's like months and months of connection where this would all mean something. It's like someone shows up and then they turn. Well, I didn't get to know them yet, so why would I care if they turn? You have to re-get to know them. Street Profits were off TV, even on SmackDown. They were off TV a lot for a long while. But anyway, anything else? No, Javon wins the thing, so that'd be interesting. I have no idea who Javon wrestles, honestly. Who won the last 4-way on SmackDown? Does anyone know? Tell me in the comments. Or don't. I don't really know. No, I don't really know. Okay, whatever. Probably a heel. That would make the most sense, right? Was it okay, Raw? I would love for them to get the... Let's come back to the States just for time zone purposes and all that stuff. I'm over the singing. I could do without singing for everything. Again, it's not as bad on the PLEs because at least the match is still happening. But when you have a very talky show like Raw, and now I'm not watching wrestling while hearing singing. I'm watching a guy stand still while people are singing. That's what hurts it for me. Roman Reigns is gonna be here every week. LOL. That's it. Where's CM Punk? Where are the stars? You guys are the Cat's Pajamas. San Diego. Let's do some plugs. Live stand-up comedy. We're gonna be lining the heads there, Daddy. Kearney Mesa this Sunday, June 14th, Mic Drop Comedy Club, Gold Room, 6 p.m. I will land from Milwaukee and go straight to that. That's going to hurt, so come see me suffer. It'll be funny. There'll be a link in my link tree in the comments or whatever. Also, San Diego, Wednesday after that, June 17th, I'm doing something Pacific Beach at the Collectives. Just check my Instagram at Bob Hansen Jokes for that. And the Wednesday after, which is the 24th, something in El Cajon Downtown Cafe, lining more heads there, Daddy, at the end of that Mamma Jamma. So that's on my link tree, and that one will be on Instagram also. Other than that, on the road with Zoltan, Milwaukee isn't coming up in a few days, Sherman Theater. I'll be doing the 20-minute open spots for him. After that, the weekend after that, 19 to 21 or something like that, whatever, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Eugene, Oregon, Olson Run Comedy Club. And the Thursday and Friday before July 4th, the 2nd and the 3rd, obviously. 1 show Thursday, 2 show Fridays. Escondido Grand Comedy Club, also with Zoltan and my buddy Rui Montilla as well. So me, Zoltan, Rui, I love that combo. So you want to go to Grand and Escondido, 4th of July weekend. I don't think it's that Saturday the 4th, though. I think that nothing happens. So I can stay home and pet my doggies. Keep them safe from the fireworks. Watch them pee on the floor. You guys are the Cat's Pajamas, the bee's knees. Yeah, make my hiney shiny and my buttocks flummox. We feed the fever, we start the cold, we hog the covers, we stain the sheets. We'll do trivia and believe. Go to Amsterdam with a hamster man. Do Hungaries, wear Hungaries and dungaree. Say you the best in Budapest. We'll do cocaine and Spokane. Call a whore from Baltimore. We're piss and blood and bleed and piss. You tell us Charlotte and Harlot. We got Jolly and Raleigh. We never stop rocking, Daddy. Thank you all. Goodbye.